Alright, so we get to the stage where we're gonna rig our robot. So first of all, I'm gonna save this as robot rig, and I'm actually going to delete the other robots because we're gonna work only with this one. But if you want, you can do for practice and rig those as well. So I'm gonna delete those layers, make this one primary, and delete this one. So I'm gonna create a new layer and I'm gonna call this layer rig. So I'm gonna leave this layer empty at the moment, and later on I'm gonna move my entire rig to it. So I'm gonna make anything visible and hide this and save it one more time. So now the first thing we want to do is make sure that our scale of our robot is correct. So first of all, I'm gonna go in front view and make a plane. So let's say I want my robot to be like 180 centimeters, like a normal person, like 184 for example. And I can notice that my robot is way too big. So the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna select the robot, go to my hierarchy and hit use work pivot point. And when I have it selected, it's going to use my world coordinates. So while I have them selected, I'm gonna go in scale, and I'm gonna scale this down until it doesn't get to this line where is the height of the robot itself. So this is kind of okay. So I like this kind of size. And now before I even start to do anything, I'm gonna turn off use work pivot point, go in perspective, select this, select my robots, go to utilities and reset the X form of it. And now I'm gonna go to modify panel and make sure that I have anything resetted. So I'm gonna convert this to poly to collapse the modifier on top of it. And now we're gonna actually create the cat rig for this. It's going to be actually very easy, and since this is kind of a very low poly piece and doesn't need that kind of much information, we're gonna rig it quite easily actually. But first of all, we have to create the rig. So we're gonna go to helpers and I'm gonna hit the following menu and select cat objects. So we're gonna need the cat parents. So click on it and hit left mouse button on the mouse and drag this out. So what you're going to create is actually this kind of yellow piece. So I'm going to move it and make sure that it's at 0 0 0. This is very important for the rig because this way I won't have issues later on with rigging and so on. So since this is 0 0 0, I'm gonna come here and change this to 1 because this is the size of it, and I'm gonna change the color because I don't like purple. I'm a guy, so I'll make something like green for example, and this is going to be my base. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Later on we're gonna do the naming. So the first thing we have to do is select this, drag this down, and you have the option to create the pelvis. So I'm gonna hit create pelvis, and you can notice that something small pops in this area. So if press F3, you can see a little small box which is blue actually. So I'm gonna go in front view and I'm gonna move this blue box down. I'm gonna go in left view and zoom in, and I'm gonna move this again a little bit to center it to the robot. So I'm gonna scale this up and down. I want to make sure that this fits where it's supposed to be, for example like here. So it is kind of okay. I'm gonna go in perspective, and actually I'm gonna scale this a little bit to the sides, just a little bit enough. So that's fine, and now I can select this and I can press add spine. It's very important to add a spine because after we add a spine, it creates this kind of a piece. Actually, let's freeze this so we can select the other pieces and create this kind of a spine area, which is right. So I need to make this super through so you can see it. Create this kind of a spine, which is the piece which acts like a real spine of a human. But since we don't need it that much like a spine because we have something very basic, I'm gonna change the numbers to the bones actually. I'm gonna select the bottom bone and change the number of bones to 1. So what I'm gonna have is this bigger bone and this one which rotates anything. So I'm gonna unhide all and go in from view and move this down. And actually this one I want to scale up and sideways to match the box of my body. And scale it this way as well. I can move this slightly up, just like this. I have this inner piece which is kind of okay. I can scale it up and down, but it's not necessary. This bone will not do anything at all, but it must be there because this is a cat rig and we're gonna leave it there. And we're not gonna paint any weights on it, so don't worry, but we're gonna use some of the other things on it as well. So now I'm just gonna have the option to add arm. As you can see, if I go to the bottom one, I can also add an arm on leg. So first of all, let's add leg. What it's going to create is this kind of a leg piece. It's not perfect, but it looks a little bit odd at the moment, but we're gonna fix it. So if you select the joint, if you select the top piece, it's going to allow you to move the top part of the joint. So I'm gonna go in right view and I'm gonna try to move this to the center of my sphere. If I go in front view, I'm also going to move this on the side, so this way the joint will be kind of perfect where I need it. And now I can go to right view again and align this sphere again in the same way like I did with the other one. Try to match this on the side as well as on the front. So now what I can do is go on the bottom, select this and try to realign it. Rotate this slightly and move this as well. It's on the bottom. So I can increase the length size of this, which is actually later going to be something I'm going to use to select my legs. So it is kind of okay for me. Allows me to have some kind of control on it. And as you can see here, we have a small piece on the leg, which is going to be actually this bottom joint. So I'm gonna place it the same way I did with the other things. Make sure that I have centered as close as possible, and it's kind of centered here as well. So probably this one can be slightly moved on the side as well, like this. So now we just created a leg, which is fine, but in order to do the same thing for the other side, I just need to select this part of the body and hit leg, and it's going to take the parameters I did on one side and it's going to copy them on the other side, which is exactly what I want. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to create the arm, or we can focus on the head. So okay, let's focus on the head first. So I'm gonna hit add bone, and as you can see inside of the center of this, it creates a bone which looks like this. And this is one of the ways you can create the head, or you can use also spine one more time. So let's use spine again. I'm gonna add spine. I'm gonna select this part of the spine and change it to 1. And this time I'm gonna go in from view and move this up. Select this one, move it down. So now basically if I rotate this, it's going to behave as a real head spine. The reason I did this is, as you can see, I have this kind of spherical element, so I'll have kind of mobility on the joints around this area, so it's not going to match, but I just want to have this kind of effect on it. But if I scale this box, it will not look like a head, and it will not fit into position like a head, because scaling the box will not look correctly. So there is another way you can achieve this kind of effect. So in our next chapter, we're going to move on forward, and we're going to shape this a little bit better in order to fit the head. And then we're going to create the helmet and the arms.